Well, we're here in the relative quiet, the shade from the wind and the rain here in the British Historic Kart Club tent with Gary Preece, who runs the show here for the Historics. Gary, good to see you again, another year of the SuperPrix.
Absolutely. The weather's not as good this year, but it's looking quite bright outside, and let's hope it stays like this. But wet or rain, wet or dry, we're here. We're going to enjoy it.
For those who were watching for the first time, how did the Historic Kart Club get going originally?
So originally around about 2004, a group of people got together, they went to a track, there was an handful of karts, and they wanted to have some good times of remembering the youth, really. And it kind of just went from there. They formed a committee, we joined the MS UK, and we started hosting events, and it just grew and grew and grew. Currently, there's probably 190 members in the club. We do, obviously, the revival here. We go to a lot of other events outside of the karting circuit side of things. We do a lot of events at Stoneleigh Park, retro events, and stuff outside of the karting bubble, really, to try and keep historic karts alive and make sure that people get to see where it started.
And as I say, karting's always been a bit of a niche sport, but the responses that you get from the general public, they're always bowled over by the amount of preparation that the members of the club put into the karts, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you've been around the pits here today. There's a lot of big awnings. The karting world's changed quite a little bit from the days of this. A lot of this was like, you know, people didn't have big fancy awnings. They just rocked up in the van and lifted the kart out of the back and enjoyed it. Set of tyres all year. Some of these guys with these really early karts, you know, like the one down here, number 77, they'd do a set of tyres all year. And everyone had the same. They were having good racing, good fun times.
Let's have a little bit of a walk around, if that's all right, Gary, of what we've got on display here this weekend.
What we've got is we've got different classes of karts. We've got Class 4 karts, which are gearboxes karts, like the modern KZs, but obviously much earlier. Started off with bike engines, YZ engine there, and then we've got the 100cc karts, like this one here. As we know, many people started off, you know, the motorsport careers. Your Lewis Hamiltons, your Jenson Buttons, all started off. Ayrton Senna. Many names in the F1 world that people know and love all started in one of these things.
In terms of age of the karts, what kind of year are we talking about to the earliest ones that we've got here?
So the earliest kart we've got here, and we'll talk about this guy down here, is the earliest kart we've got. Actually, credit to the guy, this number 44 there. This is Roy Collins, our oldest member. He's 84, bless him. He's had this kart since 1960. Treasured it. It got sent out to Kenya, where he was working with the RAF. He raced it over there, and they brought it back, and he still goes out on it here whenever he can.
And what always amazes me when I see something like this, even though we're talking many decades now, it still looks so fresh and pristine. It's not like it's hanging apart. It's really well put together.
Yeah. There's some absolutely lovely karts here, you know, that people have cherished. You know, some people have had these all through the generations of, you know, instead of moving with the times and getting the newer kart, they've tried keeping what they've had, you know, and like you say, kept on top of it as best they can. One of the things that we do have issues with is noise. You know, you can appreciate now we're in a world where health and safety, noise, pollutions, all that sort of stuff plays a part in what we do. But we do our best to try and keep them as quiet as we can.
I say we've also got at the far end of things as well. We've got some of what would have been at their time fastest karting machines in the world. What else have we got here this weekend?
Yeah, over here we've got probably one of the most famous drivers in the world, Ayrton Senna. This would be his karts, two karts here. 1979. He basically thought he'd won the world championship, but changing the regs, he finished second. So that's the DAP there. DAP, household name in the historic world. Many karts, like, you know, if you speak about karts in the 80s, Martin Hines, you've probably heard of. Zip kart, what a guy. Did a lot of stuff for the sport.
Certainly. Say the love for folks like Martin Hines and Ayrton Senna as well. So we've got a replica of one of his helmets as a replica of his machines from the 70s as well.
You know, and like I say, people they look up to these people. You know, they're legends in their own little world. You know, what we have here, we have obviously on-track demo sessions. And we also have what they call a concourse, so really nicely prepared karts like this will get judged, and they'll get some nice trophies to take away for the year, and they bring them back at the end of the year. We also have a driver award, which is the steering wheel, Brendan Curl. Most of these have sort of like been donated, and there's some really, really good names on these trophies.
And going on as well, what I've always admired about the club as well over the years is that it's almost like the history is expanding as well as the years go on. You know, more and more eras of karting coming into the historics element. I would say I've got a 90s and early 2000s here.
You know, some of the karts that we've got here eventually are going to end up historic karts. Your X30s, Roadsax Maxes and stuff, they are going to end up in years to come. You know, historic karts. You know, we talk about retro. What is retro? You know, in the PC world or the gaming world, PlayStation 2000 is a retro machine. Whereas here we've got karts, like we said, right back to the vintage era. You know, in the 60s. You know, so all eras catered for.
For those watching who might have an interest in getting involved, how do they get involved with the club?
We have a website for the British Historic Kart Club. We are actually just refreshing it at the moment. We're trying to keep it up to date. A lot of our members are of the older generation. They like stuff sent out in paper. We do still send out a trackside magazine every quarter for the members. We also promote stuff on Facebook, and we do attend various events that we can try and promote what we do and keep this thing alive.
Fantastic. Well,
it's a great place to come, and lots of people you can see around here, that lots of help on hand and lots of experience.
Absolutely. It's a really, really great part of the paddock to be involved. Well, thanks for your time, Gary. Yeah. Appreciate it, and best of luck for the rest of the weekend.
You know, I want to say thanks to the Alpha team for what they do, and you know, a lot of people actually in the historic world still follow modern karting. You do a great job, guys, and thanks for having us, and thanks for doing what you do.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Brilliant. Thank you.